stage to the goal of digital verbal connection with individuals, families, and communities. Athletes Hockey Program NCSC includes sportsmanship by athletes, coaches, and spectators who request work cooperation and support the athletes and officials in a positive manner. Intimidating actions or statements based on biases in politics, gender, age, race, faith, ethnicity, or sexual orientation will not be tolerated and is right for removal from the set of competition. These restraints are tolerated from the playfield or whistles and interfering with the flow of the game. Spectators found engaging in such actions will be removed from the stadium and possibly arrested. And here are today's members of the Galactic Senate are Representative Gerald Flores, Assistant Representative Christian Sherman, Assistant Representative Rhett Taylor. Our fourth senator tonight is John Otto. And now the starting lineup for the Imperials of Rhode Island FC. Please welcome their captain and goalie. Number 1, Cody Vegas. Number 3, Stephen Turnbull. Number 3, Prince Sagi. Number 11, Noah Fruzen. Number 12, Clay Listock. Number 14, Mark Doyle. Number 15, Frank Vigaris. Number 16, Gabriel Alves. Number 17, Jose Quizera. Number 23, Martin Barra. And number 24, Carissa Yale. Rhode Island are led by Sith Lord Connie Smith, with Sith Masters Dave McKay, Marco Silvestre, and Carl Spread. Today's bell call will be delivered from Jeremy Trom, who's Director of Addiction Medicine at the Children's Institute. Fans on speaker, welcome to the field, Jeremy.
The smallest of margins can change everything in a game of football. It can give teams, players, and fans new goals, new life, new faith, and a new hope. Tonight from Wake Med Soccer Park, it's a 6-pointer affair between two clubs at the bottom of the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship, as North Carolina FC, who returns to the division, takes on the newest member, Rhode Island FC, on ESPN Plus and WRAL2. Thanks for joining us here in Cary. I'm Brian Ware alongside Andrew Tate. And Andrew, as I said in the open, the smallest of margins can change everything. Both of these teams have not really capitalized on those small margins, and that's where they stand, 11th and 12th in the East. And now's the time probably to tinker around for these coaches. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they feel they're a long way off where they want to be. It's the details, as you say. I think both teams have had moments this season against some really, really good opposition. Just those little lapses in concentration have really cost them. For North Carolina FC, they have a very dynamic midfielder who I think has really done well in his new role, and that's Luis Perez, operating as a number 10. Yeah, and a returning player from last year, the 26-year-old Frenchman hailing from Paris. He is the top scorer at North Carolina. Doesn't say a lot. He's got 2 for the season. Scored an important goal on the road at Indy last week, but he's 3rd in the USL in chances created, and he'll have a big impact today if North Carolina are looking to get those 3 points. One of the key signings for Rhode Island's head coach, Cano Smith, is a youngster in Noah Fuson, the 24-year-old out of L.A., leading the team in assists with 3. He's a great distributor of the ball. Yeah, and did a really great job at Columbus Crew too. MLS Next Pro had a lot of goals there, double digits there for them. And he's a player that with 3 assists and a goal this season, he looks like a player that will have a big impact for the visitors today in the hopes that they can get a big 3 points. He was the man of the match in Rhode Island's first win in club history against Las Vegas. Meanwhile, John Bradford makes a change in goal. Antonio Carrera gets his 3rd start of the year. We'll have the lineups and the kickoff next.
Small initiative. We gave every small business the opportunity to use Queen Latifah as the face of their marketing with their own customized video. So far, Lenovo Evolve Small, in partnership with AMD and Microsoft, has helped over 1,000 women and minority-owned small businesses to thrive. With more than $2.4 million in grants, tech, mentorship, and marketing resources. Stay tuned for what's next with Lenovo Evolve Small.
It's tough these days to find healthy and fast, but at Alpaca, you'll find both. From our all-natural charcoal-fired chicken, cooked using Peruvian spices, to our made-to-order dishes like arroz chaufa. With sausage, chicken, or completely vegetarian, we have something for every diet. So take a break today. Come in or find us online for catering or to place a pickup order. Family-owned and local. Make it a Peruvian night. Make it Alpaca.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
The rain is come and gone here in Cary at Wake Med Soccer Park, and we are set for action between North Carolina FC and Rhode Island FC, the first ever matchup between these two clubs. Andrew, let's look at the lineup. North Carolina FC makes a few changes from their loss last week in Indianapolis. Yeah, head coach John Bradford tinkering a little bit. The goalkeeper change, which we've seen some rotation through the season, sees Antonio Carrera come in, on loanee from FC Dallas. A real talent there. He'll be looking to get his a shutout here on home turf. Back 3, same as always, but in midfield we'll see some changes with Flores Blanco slide into that left-hand spot, and then he gets an extra striker on the pitch with last year's top scorer, Olex Anderson Jr. Scored 17 goals last year, getting 2 strikers, hoping to get more goals this weekend. And for Rhode Island, they had a tough loss last week against Phoenix. They make 3 changes. One of the big ones is their top goal scorer is not in the lineup, Albert Dikwa. What do they do now? Yeah, and that unfortunately for them, it's
Albadiqua misses out through injury, so we'll see Sadie and Doyle coming in the top of the pitch. We'll just to see where Fuson lines up. Will he be back in that normal striker position, or will he slot into that midfield position vacated by Brito? But it's the same back three of Alves, Yao and Odas. They'll look to be stingy, and hopefully they'll get some goals from those two boys up top.
And the final change they make is in goal. Coque Vegas, the 28-year-old from Spain who started match day 1 for them, is back from injury and back into the starting 11. There you get a look at Rhode Island in their amber golden jerseys. North Carolina FC will be in the blue and black, as it is Star Wars night here at WakeMed Soccer Park. A lot of fans here in attendance. They dealt with the rain. Now the rain has subsided, hopefully for this entire game. But we are set for action as referee Gerald Flores will get us going here in Cary. As we said, both of these teams at the bottom of the table in the East and looking to make a move as we are set to go here at WakeMed Soccer Park. If you look at the Eastern Conference standings, obviously the two big stories are the Charleston Battery and Louisville City at the top of the table. You also have the amazing story of Detroit City and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. But the difference between 5th place and 12th place, which is where North Carolina is only 4 points. And yes, we're only 8 games into the season, but the top 4 is already starting to separate themselves here in the early stages.
Yeah, some big games coming up for North Carolina with return fixtures against Loudoun, and obviously today Rhode Island and Indy last week. There's a lot of games being played in and around that lower part of the division right now. And I think everyone feels like the table is lying and doesn't truly reflect the quality they have in their squad, but that needs to turn around quickly for some of these coaches.
And Rhode Island switching the field towards Sadie, headed away by Rafa Mensingen. You mentioned how he had a gorgeous cross to Luis Perez, which was the equalizer in their 2-1 loss against the Indy 11. Sadie going one-on-one with Rafa, and it's going to be a throw to the visitors as Rafa a bit perplexed. He just recently had a birthday, turned 28 years of age earlier this week. Rhode Island targets Doyle, the Irishman forward. Alves back to Yao. Turnbull. Sarah. We've got the 3 attackers up top for North Carolina: Perez, Placius, and Anderson leading the line, with the 2 central midfielders of Martin and Maldonado. Decent link up is Fuson. Looks towards Doyle, cleared away by Bryce Washington. So far in the early minutes, it's all Rhode Island. Coming into this game with a record of 1 win, 2 losses, and 4 draws on the year. Currently play their games at Barron Stadium at Bryant University. The club is in the process of getting a new soccer-specific stadium built in Pawtucket. 3 of their first 4 home games were draws. They had a 1-1 draw against New Mexico and 2 0-0 draws against Charleston and against Pittsburgh. The game they played last week, they suffered their first defeat at home, which was a 3-1 loss to Phoenix Rising. And that's a noted opponent for the home team, North Carolina, as they will play Phoenix Rising in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. That game is scheduled for Wednesday, and Home fans will get a chance to see the two champions, the USL League One champ versus the USL Championship winner in the Open Cup. Go ahead. I was going to say good amount of control from Rhode Island to start things. And now a giveaway from Turnbull. Quickly in transition, Anderson trying to slide it to Placius. Now trying to pick Yao's pocket. And now Fusol operating from the middle. Out to Sadie. 1v1 with Rafa. Sadie, good cross. Punched away by Carrera. Quizera. Back to Turnbull. Trying to find Ibarra. It's headed away by Martin. And out by Flores Blanco.
Mercedes, who started really positive down this left-hand side, seen a lot of the ball causing problems for Mensing, and he whips it across there. Carrera gets his hand to it, but almost puts it on a plate for a Rhode Island forward there. But both teams have made a number of changes, not just in 3 in and 3 out, but they've also shuffled some players in terms of the positions that they're playing on the field today, and Rhode Island have definitely settled into those changes much better so far.
That was a decent touch by Turnbull, looking to Quizera. Malou gives it back to Carrera. And headed up by Yao. And Martin was trying to link up with Anderson. I mentioned Luis Perez in the Open for North Carolina FC in terms of his goal scoring, his contributions, but Colin Martin's really done well in the middle, tied for the team lead in assists with 2. He also is 3rd in also those key passes, creating chances. An excellent box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah, he looks like he's really sort of settling into his role here in North Carolina. Getting better, I feel, with each week that goes by.
Playing the last 4 years out on the West Coast at San Diego. With the San Diego Loyal. Cano Smith, the Rhode Island coach, telling them to calm things down. As Holstead trying to put it in a spot for Turnbull. And now North Carolina can finally get some time on the ball. So far, the opening 6.5 minutes has been all Rhode Island. Flores Blanco to Martin. Aiming towards Perez. Turnbull shakes him off. Stephen Turnbull charges in. It's blocked by Malou. But Stephen Turnbull, the right wingback, starting to cause some early problems.
Yeah, they just look a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more hungry today to get that 3 points. Not that that says much, because North Carolina in recent weeks have started the games really, really positively and then been undone by a lapse in concentration the other way. So a lot of soccer still to play.
Stephen Turnbull played his last 2 seasons with NYCFC, both at the MLS Next Pro, and also played a few games with the first team in the MLS. Turnbull had a good stint, scoring goals in back-to-back games. He scored one of the 2 goals in Las Vegas, but he also scored in that amazing 4-4 draw with the Charlotte Independents in the Open Cup. It was such an insane fixture that it went 3-3 after 90 minutes, 4-4 after extra time, and then it went to 9 rounds of penalties.
Fans getting their money's worth there. That's what the Open Cup does, right? It's full of surprises and entertainment.
Great
again on Wednesday.
Great interception by Rafa as he charges down, looks toward Placius. And it goes all the way to the other side, and Turnbull with a good shoulder challenge against Anderson. And the star striker for North Carolina took the brunt of it.
Clutching his left ankle, just came back from injury. Alex Anderson Jr., the St. Vincent and Grenadine forward. It's a strong collision with Turnbull. The referee deemed it to be a fair one, shoulder to shoulder in his eyes, much to the disappointment of Alex Anderson Jr.
As you said, he had 17 goals, 8 assists last year in USL League One, was first-team All-League striker, a finalist for MVP, which was won by Trevor Ahman, who played for Northern Colorado and is now doing great things with the Sacramento Republic, playing out west. And here is Anderson, just lost concentration. CS giving pressure to Coque Vegas, and Anderson's going to get a throw.
Good work from the front two there. North Carolina don't usually play with two strikers, but there you can see them working well together there. Young Julian Placius and his strike partner, Alex Anderson Jr., putting that Rhode Island backline under pressure deep in their own third.
Have a small stoppage of play. It looks like one of the players may have lost their shin guards.
Who's going to own up to that?
It's definitely an equipment thing that has to be investigated. And it looks like it's been given to the right player, Karifa Yao. And Maldonado will wait patiently over on the far side with his long throw. Canadians now ready to defend. Maldonado aims towards Placius. It's headed away by Yao and cleared by Holstead. And a foul is going to be called, much to the chagrin of the North Carolina fans. Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Darce trying to go long to Sadie. Little tug by Rafa, advantage is played, and it's cleared away by Washington. See Rhode Island really wanting to get their wingbacks involved, both Sadie and Turnbull.
Yeah, Brian, I feel that Sadie's really not a wingback today. He's going to be more of a winger, as the back three shifted very far to the left-hand side. That allowed Turnbull will certainly do his share of the defending side of it. But that little change of just Yao going to the right side of centre-back and Nodas in the middle, it's almost like a back four at times with Turnbull, because you see Sadie, he's staying high, and he's going to look to pin himself on Rafa Mensingen and test his defensive qualities today. It's almost like a 4-2-3-1 at times that then pivots to a back three when they're going forward.
Coaches have their philosophies about how they want to play when they do have the ball and when they don't have the ball. Very common theme as Maldonado picks up the scraps. Perez to Anderson, trying to cut on his right, and that's a great bit of defensive work by Turnbull. Heavy touch by Fusol. Allows a second effort here for North Carolina. Rafa gets a corner kick. Rafa Mensingen, 13 goals, 7 assists last year. Being warned by Gerald Flores for that last encounter with Sadie on the other side of the field just a moment ago. But now Perez, the set piece taker, will take this corner kick.
This is an area North Carolina has to capitalize on. Just just one goal from set pieces all year. It was an area where they were able to generate a lot of offense last year that helped them get to the League One title. Some of those big 6-foot boys have to start chipping in.
They play short to Rafa. Perez mentioned it up. Rafa. It's headed back by Holstead, and it will be another corner kick.
Rafa Mensingen with another one of those teasing deliveries off that tasty right foot of his.
He has 2 assists on the season. Created 10 chances coming into today's game. And now Maldonado will take the corner kick on this side with his right foot. In the 15th minute, Maldonado gets some good air on it. It's headed away by Yao as Malou was the target. North Carolina is chipping away, trying to test this Rhode Island defense with multiple set pieces. As goalkeeper Coque Vegas making sure his team is disciplined. It looks like they're playing man-to-man in the box against the likes of Craig and Placias and Anderson and Malou. It's going to be the Frenchman Perez towards the near post. And again, it's Holstead getting to it. Even though the ball went out of play, it'll still allow Maldonado to try to get a long throw in. It's Perez! What a chance from the Frenchman. Going with the full volley on that kick.
We had a great view of that, Brian, didn't we? Right down the barrel of the gun. Just gets underneath it a little bit, but sweet contact from the Frenchman. That left foot, never too far away.
He scored some gorgeous goals last year for North Carolina FC in League One. He has space. You saw multiple times. He has 30 yards in space. He's going to give a firecracker at it.
It's great technique. He just watches it onto that left foot. He almost hits it too well, Brian, I think. Slices it a bit and it might go in the top corner.
Holstead turns it over. Maldonado trying to get a transition going. Rhode Island gets back defensively. Perez now finds Flores Blanco. Martin now to the El Salvadorian. Here's Craig, the captain for this North Carolina side in his first year with the club after playing the last 3 with Miami FC, also winning some USL Championship titles with Louisville City. A very experienced center back as they track back, and Fusson can't link up with Turnbull. Noah Fusson, you said, played with the Columbus Crew 2 last 2 seasons, winning the 2022 title, had 2 very good years in the MLS Next Pro. 10 goals and 4 assists in 2022, 10 goals and 5 assists in 2023.
He's off to a good start this year in USL Championship.
Anderson, Blanco able to beat Turnbull. Quick pass, and Yao clears it away. Corner kick again for North Carolina. It's the 4th corner kick in as many minutes. And the fans are ready to burst if they can capitalize on a goal with some excitement. Maldonado gets some good arc on it. It was towards Placias, and I believe it grazed one of the Rhode Island defenders, so it's another corner kick.
Those Maldonado corners are very vicious, aren't they? They're whipping and looping, tough to defend.
And they're just hovering around that 6-yard box, trying to put it on a plate. Perez heads to the back post, punched away by Coque Vegas. After the first, 5-10 minutes when Rhode Island had a good portion of the ball, North Carolina has kind of grown into the game as the flag went up offside on Placias. Placias, who 17 years of age, was part of the LA Galaxy Academy and also played in the MLS Next Pro. He had a great stretch when he scored the lone goal in their win in the Open Cup against Carolina Core, and then the next game against New Mexico United, he scored the first goal for North Carolina. He's been getting some real minutes up against the likes of the two stars from last year's team, Oleg Sanderson and Garrett McLaughlin.
Yeah, real bright young talent that's, from what I understand, destined for a trip overseas to Europe. There's a lot of clubs sniffing around at the moment, and I don't think it's a case of if he'll go, I think it's a case of when. So at the moment, North Carolina happy to have him in the lineup and squeeze every bit of quality that they can from the young boy. And he's earned the right to start. But it's good to see him have a partner today. Little and large. You've got the size and strength and presence of Placias, and then the pace and chaos that Oleg Sanderson Jr. can bring.
Now he's going to have to defend as Rhode Island have a free kick. Holstead plays it fast. It's targeting towards Yao, and that's a high boot to Luis Perez. And the Frenchman has stayed down after the contact. Looks like he's okay. See the
brave challenge, brave header, sorry, from Luis Perez.
Malou goes long, looking towards Anderson, held up by Yao. Both players jostling for position as Anderson has stayed down. Fusol out wide to Sadie. Ibarra. Sadie now back to Alves. Odarce to Holstead. Ibarra under pressure from Malou. Now Quizera. Turnbull cuts it back. Dealt with by Martin. Corner kick to Rhode Island. Rhode Island in its first year of existence. They were founded all the way back in 2019, but the COVID pandemic pushed things back for when they wanted to start their operations. As North Carolina does well defensively. Bit of a slip from Quizera. And Turnbull with a necessary tackle there because Rafa could have been off to the races and a counterattack could have been on.
Turnbull's a strong boy, isn't he? Another big collision with a North Carolina player, where the Rhode Island man comes out on top. Definitely a lot more fluidity from the visitors in Rhode Island, but North Carolina had the chances. Very even, as we probably expected coming into this game.
25 minutes on the clock, still no score between North Carolina and Rhode Island. If you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Sadie looking towards Doyle. First good chance from Rhode Island, as Mark Doyle almost connected on that Sadie cross.
It was something we've seen a lot early on here. Sadie scampering down the left wing. Just gets onto that left foot and whips it across. Doyle gets across his centre-back, gets the contact, just glances wide of that far post. But that's the threat that the visitors are offering.
Mark Doyle into the starting 11. The Irishman, 25 years old, out of Dublin, played the last 2 years with St. Patrick's, winning the Irish Cup, the domestic cup in 2023, which gave him a chance to compete in the UEFA Europa Conference League, where he scored his first European goal in that competition. And he has been a staple, playing in Ireland for all the way back since 2015. When he was 16 and 17 years of age. Craig looking towards Placius. That will be controlled by Coque Vegas. Rhode Island's #1. He was Vegas, the goalkeeper, was the club's first signing in December of 2023. Now he might be called to arms as Perez, low cross, dealt with by Holstead. And now Doyle's 1v1 with Craig, and Craig wins that battle. And good awareness to find a teammate near him with that touch. Gets held back by Holstead. Frenchman trying to make an impact. And a break between the lines. Busy few days here for North Carolina FC. After tonight's game, they will play on Wednesday in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup against Phoenix Rising. That game is scheduled for 7 p.m. here at Wake Med Soccer Park. Tickets still available. If you're watching us on WRAL2, we thank you. Also nationally on ESPN+. Long throw towards Placius. It falls to Morton. And it's blocked away, I believe, by Nodarse. And now the quick transition as Doyle corrals it against Washington to Fusson. Heavy touch allows Rafa to clear it. Collision between Fusson, I believe, Doyle and Washington. And now the referee has stopped play to bring the trainers out for that head-to-head collision. Bryce Washington, the 25-year-old out of Atlanta, Played last year with Loudoun United.
Both players just going for the ball. And he just catches the shoulder or elbow of Fuson right on the nose. Those are always a sore one. A little bit of claret, I think.
Yeah, that's something that the trainer may have to address. And looking at who North Carolina FC has on their bench in terms of defenders, you got the likes of only Shaft Brewer, Ezra Armstrong. You also have Raheem Summersall on the bench.
Yeah, no direct centre-back replacement really on the bench at the moment. Daniel Navarro not available.
Batista not available either. He was doing some running around on the field at pregame just to get his fitness levels going, and it looks like it's going to be Raheem Summersall who is ready to check in. So it looks like North Carolina is going to be making a change, possibly, as Washington says he's okay, as he's running back to the bench. Obviously, the training staff and the medical staff will have to do their checks, both for blood and for possible concussion tests as well. So he is sitting near the bench for the moment. We'll see if they can make the change in due time. So North Carolina will restart things with 10. As the long ball is towards Oleg Sanderson. High bounce off this short cut grass here at WakeMed Soccer Park. A giveaway by Turnbull, and it forces Holstead to commit a foul, and he gets a card for his troubles. Yellow card here in the 32nd minute to the midfielder, Clay Holstead. But that was off the mistake of Turnbull, as you see on the pass.
Yeah, just a fraction off target with that pass, and that puts him under pressure with Oleg Anderson on the scene. Has to commit the foul. And after a couple of other indiscretions, the referee was always going to pull out the yellow.
Clay Holstead also played with the Columbus Crew 2 last year, along with his teammate Noah Fusal. He has scored recently in the Open Cup game, in that 4-4 draw, and in the loss against Phoenix. Maldonado lofts this up towards Malou! And Justin Malou with a good chance to give North Carolina the early lead.
It's a good ball again from Maldonado. He's been on the money with set pieces. Turnbull just does just enough to prevent Malou from making contact, but it was a tasty delivery. And thankfully for Rhode Island, it bounces just wide of that far post.
The Senegalese defender who played with Clemson in college, winning that national championship. Alves with a throw to Doyle. Touched by Placias. It's going to be a corner kick, and this is going to be a good opportunity here for Rhode Island to test this North Carolina defense. They conceded 12 goals this year, and 3 of them have been own goals. And 2 of them were off set pieces. And you have a lot of bodies around that penalty spot.
This is really interesting. Rhode Island has everybody in the box. Okay, all right.
Holstead towards the post, and Carrera was interfered with as he tried to punch it out.
Yeah, I don't think the camera quite caught that for a second there, Brian. I was waving at you like there's nobody in a yellow shirt anywhere but inside the box, which is incredible.
Yeah, you got to look at how Carrera trying to get around the Rhode Island attacker.
You see that a lot now on set pieces. You see Ben White doing it for Arsenal a lot, that opportunity where you can just pin the goalkeeper, prevent him from getting a good run at the ball, and then that allows other players to go and attack it. But the referee felt that was some illegal play inside the 6-yard box on behalf of Prince Sadie.
Bryce Washington back on the field for North Carolina as he gives it back to Carrera, a 20-year-old out of Texas, on loan from FC Dallas, playing 35 games last year with North Texas the last few seasons. He's also been part of the US U19, U20, and U23 national teams. Good number 2 goalkeeper with Jake McGuire getting the start for so far more games, but this is Carrera's 3rd start of the season. He started in the loss at Loudoun, and I believe also at Detroit. This is the first chance for the home fans to see the young goalkeeper, Carrera. As Rhode Island tries to work it forward through Quizera, picked off by Martin. Perez, good ball to Anderson, trying to slip it to Pasillas. Too many amber shirts in the way for the young 17-year-old to break through. Quizera switches it to Ibarra. Sadie. Fusol evades Maldonado and gives it back to Sadie. A lot of congestion in the middle of the field. And now Rhode Island almost looking to switch the field of play. Here is Turnbull. Ibarra. Quizera trying to spin away from Malou. Holstead. Ibarra to Fusol. Trying to link a give and go. John Bradford urging his team to get forward. This ball will run all the way to the other side of the field as we're in the 38th minute. Both teams don't know if they'll be more aggressive to try to get that opening goal before the halftime intermission, or if they want to try to keep things as they are, as Turnbull is going to get a corner kick. As he kept that ball in bounds, and Malou able to deflect it out.
I think for me, John, the home team at the moment just needs to get to half-time. I think they've got some of the changes right now with Pasillas back there having to defend a lot, and all of them, it's like square pegs in round holes, it feels like at times, and the rhythm and the fluidity that Rhode Island has on the ball going forward, you just start to feel that it's only a matter of time before they get that opening goal.
Referee Gerald Flores holding things up again as you see 8 guys in the box, kind of similar to what they did in their last set piece. They'll spray away as they're ready to kick it in. It's towards Doyle, headed away by Craig, and now Anderson in a chase with Turnbull. Does he get in front of it? Yes, he does. But referee Gerald Flores says we're going the other way. Head coach John Bradford not happy with the decision. And as you see, it looked like it might have been called a hip check.
I think for me, Brian, I felt that was probably a no call, really. But to see it go against the home team there, I think is a little bit harsh, to say the least.
Fusson gets in the box. That's a great challenge by Craig. Very risky one. Rhode Island wanted a handball as now Anderson collides with Nodarse, and the defender is going to get a card. The Rhode Island bench was asking for a handball before that collision. But unfortunately, it is the center back, Nodarse, who gets carded for the interference.
And this was brilliant defending from Paco Craig. The last home game here, he gave away a penalty lunging in, but there he got that one absolutely spot on. Here you see Nodarse. I actually didn't feel that was a foul there, but the referee maybe not giving the one before, and sometimes you can see these make-up calls. Nodarse, I think, can probably feel himself a little bit unlucky to get a yellow card there, but the home fans were more than pleased to see the referee dish that one out.
Cuban defender, played the last couple years with RGV Toros in the USL Championship. A bit of press here from Rhode Island as Martin gets it to Blanco. Now Anderson trying to spin away from Ibarra. Switches it to Rafa. Rafa 1v1. Cuts it on his left, and Vegas with the save. First real save that either goalkeepers had to make.
It's a great play here from Alex Anderson. A little Maradona turn there to shield the ball from Ibarra, then a great awareness to feed the ball out to Mensingen. You think all day he's going to go on his right foot, but he cuts inside, hammers one towards goal, and just a fraction there off finding one of the Navy shirts crashing across the 6-yard box. All it needed was a little touch. Pretty routine save, though, for Vegas.
Good job by Rafa to get the header, but couldn't clear it as Sadie picks up the loose change. A little bit of a misread trying to find Doyle. Now we'll come back to Alves. Here in the 42nd minute, still no score. Both teams now trying to test the opposing defense a little more. From North Carolina, you're starting to see that transition game working, especially if they can get Anderson and Glacias involved. Fusson finds Quizera. Back to Fusson. Martin brings him down, and it's a free kick. Late here in this first half as the calendar turns to May. The USL and the CBS networks continues as Detroit City FC takes on the defending championship title winners Phoenix Rising Saturday, May 11th at 6:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Big chance here for Antonio Carrera to prevent Rhode Island from getting the first goal as he measures out his wall. 3-man wall just in front of the box. It's about 29 yards out for either Holstead or Quizera. It is Quizera, and it's right into the midst of the 20-year-old.
Now will settle down the young goalkeeper there, build his confidence. Make a routine save after maybe a couple of moments where he was a little bit hesitant on some crosses. Brian, I was going to say, Brian, the more this game goes on, though, you look at both teams have only had 2 multi-goal games during the USL Championship. You just feel that one goal could be the difference here in determining whether you get 3 points or nothing. Just that one moment. That's why it swings back and forth at the moment.
And both of those multi-goal affairs were in their wins. Obviously, North Carolina's win was against Hartford Athletic, which was a 2-1 decision. Rhode Island's win was 2-1 at Las Vegas.
Yeah, both teams struggle for goals, don't they? So you just feel whichever team can get that all-elusive goal, that's all maybe that might be needed today to get the 3 points.
Darce to Ibarra. Sadie. Too much on the cross there. It will be a throw to North Carolina. Prince Sadie, the Liberian, played for Hartford Athletic in 2023. Led the team with 10 goals, including 3 braces against Monterey Bay, Birmingham, Memphis, and RGV Toros. Alves, Brazilian, to Sadie, the Liberian. Looks like we're going to have 3 minutes of added time here in this first half as Bryce Washington putting Quezada under pressure. Rhode Island has to force themselves back. Yao. Holstead now to Turnbull. Trying to put in a spot for Quezada, but Malou is right there to pick it up and clear their lines. Sadie 1v1 with Rafa. And Carrera reads it the whole way. And Rafa taken down for a free kick. What do you think John Bradford's going to try to say to his guys in terms of how to switch the gears as we head towards the second half?
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if he feels the change with the 2 forwards has worked out. I think going forward it looks great when they're in possession, but defensively I think it does cause some troubles and problems going the other way.
Here's Quezada trying to swing it to the far post. It curls all the way to the corner. And Blanco will clear their lines, and now Yao is under pressure from Placias.
I think he's got to try and get the ball into Placias' feet a little bit more and get Olex Anderson running off, and we really haven't seen the young striker get the ball into his feet. We've seen a lot more of Olex Anderson Jr. Just trying to get those two linking up a little bit more would be really helpful for the home team.
And it really shows in the possession numbers. So far, Rhode Island just a little over 60% of the ball. After the number of set pieces that North Carolina has had in this first half, Rhode Island has measured that storm and try to...
Frustration for head coach Carno Smith. He's waving his arm in the air there. They've had a lot of the play, Brian, to your point. They've had a lot of possession, but really getting into that final third, that final ball, that little bit of quality has really been lacking, and that kind of, I think, sums up the season so far for this new team, Rhode Island. They've got some really talented young players, but right now not quite delivering, not quite hitting in top gear at the moment.
And as we said, they're missing some key strikers. Obviously, Albert Dikwa, the reigning MVP, is out. J.J. Williams has not played a minute as the whistle is blown for halftime. After 45 minutes, it's 0-0. The best chance for North Carolina coming from Luis Perez with that gorgeous volley But so far, it is all even. We will step aside, give our thoughts on the first half, and look forward to their upcoming schedules here in the USL Championship.
That's why Lenovo launched the Evolve Small Initiative. We gave every small business the opportunity to use Queen Latifah as the face of their marketing with their own customized video. So far, Lenovo Evolve Small, in partnership with AMD and Microsoft, has helped over 1,000 women and minority-owned small businesses to thrive. With more than $2.4 million in grants, tech, mentorship, and marketing resources. Stay tuned for what's next with Lenovo Evolve Small.
Whether you've set personal goals or just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
It's tough these days to find healthy and fast, but at Alpaca, you'll find both. From our all-natural charcoal-fired chicken, cooked using Peruvian spices, to our made-to-order dishes like arroz chaufa. With sausage, chicken, or completely vegetarian, we have something for every diet. So take a break today. Come in or find us online for catering or to place a pickup order. Family-owned and local. Make it a Peruvian night. Make it Alpaca.
Star Wars characters abound here on Star Wars Day at Wake Med Soccer Park. But so far, the Rebel Alliance hasn't had anything to cheer for. It's 0-0 between North Carolina FC and Rhode Island FC here on ESPN+. Thanks for joining us here in Cary. I'm Brian Ware along with Andrew Tate. Andrew, first half, both teams are really trying to figure out how to break the other team. Not a lot of shots, not a lot of quality chances. And both coaches really going to have to tinker things around in the second half if they want to get 3 points.
Yeah, I think there's certainly positives that both coaches will be focusing on at halftime. But it's a really interesting tussle, I feel. Like, you've got the fluidity and the rhythm of Rhode Island going forward. They look good on the ball. But then you've got the patience and the explosiveness of North Carolina on the break, and then in the set pieces as well. So, real interesting battle for the second 45.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see which transition opportunities will capitalize for their respective teams. And they've got some big schedules coming up for both of these sides. For North Carolina FC, they've got one key home game left during this stretch against Loudoun United. Then they go on the road through late May and into early June, with a lot of big events taking place here at Wake Med Soccer Park. Their next home game isn't until Monterey Bay until mid-June, so it's going to be about a big gap of a month. Yeah,
quite the trip there across those three places, Pittsburgh, Miami, and Louisville. Some really tough places to go.
And meanwhile, Rhode Island, we mentioned Berenstain, they're getting about 4,000-plus fans. They're going to have great games against Sacramento, Louisville City, Detroit City. Great competition. Going to be tough, but great competition for a home crowd to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't get any harder than Sacramento and Louisville. And then Detroit, obviously a really improved team this year.
So those are the upcoming schedules for the two sides. We will step aside for this upcoming break. As we come back, we'll talk about the next round of the U.S. Open Cup and what potential cup sets could happen.
You'll get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk past. Maybe drowning every night won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power, trusted for over 100 years. Our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
From distance, oh, what an effort, and it's special. Machoma fires, oh!
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
That's why Lenovo launched the Evolve Small Initiative. We gave every small business the opportunity to use Queen Latifah as the face of their marketing with their own customized video. So far, Lenovo Evolve Small, in partnership with AMD and Microsoft, has helped over 1,000 women and minority-owned small businesses to thrive. With more than $2.4 million in grants, tech, mentorship, and marketing resources. Stay tuned for what's next with Lenovo Evolve Small.
The rain has come back here in Cary. So far, no goals between the two sides, North Carolina and Rhode Island. The Open Cup continues this week with a round of 32. Many fans will be focused on the USL versus MLS matchups. There's a great history of cup sets when USL teams have pulled off upsets against MLS clubs. And we have a video to show you why.
Mertz again trying to play in Dikwa. Dikwa's in behind. Dikwa's open the scoring.
Chest it down. Oh, that is spectacular. It's a cup set for Union Omaha.
Kasim cutting inside. And there it is. Cup set magic in the air tonight. Saved by Viniello. Rodrigo Lopez. It's improbable. It's indomitable. It's another cup set.
And there you get a look at the upcoming matchups in the U.S. Open Cup. The ones highlighted in yellow, USL team versus an MLS team. Let's talk first about, obviously, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, North Carolina and Phoenix. That's going to be a big game for the fans here at home. Who do you think would have the edge between those two sides?
I mean, you'd have to go with Phoenix, right? They're a powerhouse team and always at the top of the USL Championship. But they're coming to the Wake Med Soccer Park, which is not an easy place to play. And North Carolina has a really good record here, barring the last defeat at home.
In terms of the teams that are highlighted in yellow, obviously we mentioned Houston, the defending champion. They're going to play Detroit City. What's a cup set that you think could possibly happen? I have mine. What are yours?
I fancy New Mexico.
That's where I was going to, because Real Salt Lake right now is first place in the Western Conference, and they have to go to the lab. Yeah. They got to go to Isotopes Park. There's going to be about 12,000 yellow shirts in the crowd wanting to see New Mexico beat one of the best teams in MLS in Real Salt Lake. Another big one, I think, is going to be Atlanta. They're going to be hosting the Charlotte Independence, as well as Omaha. They got that big, deep run. They're going to have a chance at redemption against Sporting Kansas City. The winner of North Carolina FC and Phoenix will travel to possibly Seattle if the Sounders beat Louisville City. So that's a look at the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup matchups. They take place this upcoming week. We will take another break and give you a look at the highlights and the stats between North Carolina and Rhode Island.
Small Initiative. We gave every small business the opportunity to use Queen Latifah as the face of their marketing with their own customized video. So far, Lenovo Evolve Small, in partnership with AMD and Microsoft, has helped over 1,000 women and minority-owned small businesses to thrive. With more than $2.4 million in grants, tech, mentorship, and marketing resources. Stay tuned for what's next with Lenovo Evolve Small.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
It's tough these days to find healthy and fast, but at Alpaca, you'll find both. From our all-natural charcoal-fired chicken, cooked using Peruvian spices, to our made-to-order dishes like arroz chaufa, with sausage, chicken, or completely vegetarian, we have something for every diet. So take a break today. Come in or find us online for catering or to place a pickup order. Family-owned and local. Make it a Peruvian night. Make it Alpaca.
Back here at Wake Med Soccer Park, second half is just a few minutes away. Brian Ware and Andrew Tate here on the call for you. Andrew, let's get to the highlights of the first half. Obviously, no goals were scored, but North Carolina had a lot of good chances in this spurt.
Yeah, and a lot of them came off of set pieces, I'd say. And this was a long throw from Mikey Maldonado. His set pieces were brilliant, whether it was from his hands or from his left foot, or right foot, sorry. But there was a great look from Luis Perez. Catches it sweep, but just goes over the bar. And here we saw Prince Sadie. We saw a lot of him going 1v1 against Mensingen. Here he does really well to get on his left foot. Doyle gets across Paco Craig, and he guides it just past that far post. You can see agonising for the striker. And here was a good chance for Malou. Great ball again from Maldonado, right on the money. Malou just put off enough by Turnbull, and the ball bounces just past that far post. But some really good chances for the home team.
As we mentioned, Rhode Island has really controlled the possession, 63% to 37. North Carolina out shooting Rhode Island 5-2. And I think obviously set pieces are going to be a key. The corners, number of corners are pretty even. Also, Rhode Island has a couple of players with some yellow cards as well.
I just think North Carolina's happy. They're not going to be worried about the possession stat at all, because Rhode Island really hasn't threatened at all. So from them, they'll be quite comfortable with that, but it's what kind of capitalizing on these opportunities that are presenting themselves.
So both teams are making their way back onto the field. It looks like neither team is making a change to start the second half. The only change really is a nose guard has been put on Bryce Washington as he took a hit across the bridge of the nose, and now he's wearing a nose guard there. You see the center back who played with both Rutgers and with Pitt.
It's kind of in Star Wars theme, I feel, there. Is he just getting involved in the...
Almost. A great evening here at Wake Med Soccer Park. Rain has come and gone, and now it's come back. But the fans here are enjoying their time at Wake Med Soccer Park, hoping that North Carolina can get their second win of the season. Both teams only one victory in this early phase of the campaign. They're sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference in 11th and 12th, respectively.
I got to hand it to the fans, Brian. There is no hiding from the rain at Wake Med Soccer Park, apart from where we're standing right now. But they're out here. They're really enjoying the Star Wars theme night. But they're getting absolutely drenched.
It's either that or if you go to the gift shop. Those are the only two places you want to be dry, as Gerald Flores gets us going here for the second half between North Carolina and Rhode Island. North Carolina in blue and black, Rhode Island in amber. That amber golden color. As Perez gets into the back of Turnbull. That's an early foul against the leading goal scorer for North Carolina. 2 goals on the season. Here is Turnbull. Had a few bright spots for Rhode Island whenever he would bring the ball forward. Now comes to Alves. Olstead under a little bit of pressure. Now it's over to Sadie. Good defensive line from North Carolina as Malou plows into Fusson. It's going to be a free kick for Rhode Island under the head coach Cano Smith. In his first year was an assistant coach for the Birmingham Legion for 5 seasons and was also an assistant coach in the NWSL with the Orlando Pride. He knows the history of the North Carolina FC, Carolina Railhawks. He played for the New England Revolution, which was the team that the Railhawks lost to in that 2007 Open Cup semifinal.
Interesting stat I read about him, Brian, was that he went to school at Lees McRae, just down the road here in North Carolina.
And during his time as a professional, he also played for the Bermuda national team. 33 caps, 10 goals as Anderson was challenged by Karifa Yao. And referee Gerald Flores is talking to the Canadian defender. There was a late whistle. Free kick has been given.
Two fellas I wouldn't mess with right there. Turnbull and Yao, Brian. The uncompromising defenders.
Yeah, they've given Olex Anderson fits whenever he wants to use his pace. And Macias, on the other hand, he's been trying to bulldoze over multiple defenders, trying to get on a ball. Drive towards goal. Quizera back to Turnbull. Now comes to Yao as defensively you see North Carolina in a 5-4-1. Now it's swung out wide to Sadie, but he can't keep it in, can't rush to it.
Noticing one tweak I feel for Rhode Island this second half, Brian. It looks like Quizera is going to be given a little bit more freedom to play in the 10 role underneath Doyle, with Fusson kind of occupying more of that wide right position. So it'll be interesting to see, because that pace of Quizera coming from deep, trying to get onto the likes of Paco Craig and Bryce Washington and Malou could be a real problem for the home team.
Ibarra. Fusson marked closely by Malou as Perez went into the back of Turnbull, and it looks like we're going to get a yellow card on the Frenchman as he took down the wingback Turnbull here in the 50th minute.
Just catches that left toe, it looked like there. Still hobbling now, Turnbull. He's okay.
Perez, the first North Carolina player to pick up a card as Rhode Island turns it over. Martin trying to put it in the box. Dealt with well by Rhode Island. They force a throw. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. I think one of the players that you'd want to play on eFootball would probably be Charleston's Nick Markanek. He is having a tear for the Charleston Battery. 11 goals on the season. He had 4 in their game against Las Vegas. He was named the Player of the Week. Charleston has just been on a tear to start the season. 6 wins, 3 draws, 21 points. They're the best team in the USL Championship. And they had 4 guys mentioned in the Team of the Week, as Doyle is going to be flagged for offsides. It just shows you the quality of what players can do. As Charleston, remember, they were the Eastern Conference champions, and North Carolina did well in the first game of the year to only limit them to a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I think they had chances to win that game, Brian, you know, so I think that's where, like, head coaches John Bradford, like, they're competing with these teams at the top end of the table. They're not a million miles away.
Yeah,
it's fine margins.
Yeah, and if you look at those fine margins in terms of the numbers, yes, North Carolina has conceded, 12 goals. They've conceded 3 own goals. But if you look at their XG, it's only 7.62 in those 8 games, which would be second in the league.
Yeah, they've shot themselves in the foot, haven't they, a few times. They've not given up a lot, but they've not scored a lot. Kind of synonymous with a lot of John Bradford teams, quite stingy. But they've just got to really be a little bit more ruthless, clinical, and consistent as well, because they've had moments where they've dominated games against some good teams, and then just that one moment, that one breakdown completely undoes all the good work.
Well, Darcy commits the foul.
It's been a bit stop-start, hasn't it, this opening 7 minutes or so for the second half. Just hasn't really got into a rhythm.
As Maldonado looked towards Rafa, picked off. And now Paco Craig trying to lead a transition opportunity for North Carolina. Advantage played, and Ibarra steps in. Paco Craig making that 30-yard run down the field with the ball. Captain, as we said, multiple all-league defender. And he might have picked up an injury, but he gets himself up, trying to track back. As Ibarra was looking towards Sadie, Rafa picks the pass off. And unfortunately, it's going to stay with Rhode Island. It's going to be a throw on the far side. Good crowd has come out here to Wake Med Soccer Park, dealing with the elements. Had some consistent rain pre-game and during the game, but the attitudes are still high. John Bradford and his team still playing with a good amount of confidence here as they look to get the breakthrough and break their winless run. Winless in their last 4 matches. In the USL Championship. And look to start a new unbeaten streak here at Wake Med Soccer Park. The loss against New Mexico ended a 9-game unbeaten run dating back to last year. Here's Martin. Gets it to Rafa. Maldonado. Unfortunately, it's an error by Malou that gives the ball back to Rhode Island, and it looks like Gerald Flores is giving a yellow card to head coach John Bradford. I believe the 4th official may have noted something to Gerald Flores to alert the referee to give a yellow card to the head coach. Referee is Gerald Flores. The assistant referees, the linesmen are Chris Scherfrons and Rhett Hamill. And the 4th official is John Matos. Turnbull turns on one. And it's right into the midst of Antonio Carrera.
He's really been the bright spot bright point, I think, for the visitors, Brian. The Turnbull, every time he gets forward, your heart's in your mouth as a home fan's perspective. He is a real threat going forward, but from a Rhode Island perspective, to have your right back being your major attacking outlet, I think it speaks volumes to just some of the struggles they're having in creating those opportunities. It's great first touch, lures in Perez, get a little give and go. Great ball from Ibarra, cuts inside and then just doesn't quite get the accuracy on the shot, and it hits straight at Carrera, but really positive surging run from the right wing back.
And it kind of put Flores Blanco and Justin Malou in a bind. How spread out they were.
Yeah, Carlos Smith was talking last week after the defeat to Phoenix, just about players trying to get that creativity from players, and that's when they had Albert Dikwa. You take away Albert Dikwa and some of those attacking weapons are even more diminished, so some of those frustrations around scoring the goals are lingering for Rhode Island, but lots of good interplay.
So far, Rhode Island has scored only 7 goals in their first 7 games of the league season. And the players that they're missing, we mentioned Albert Dikwa scored 20 last year for Pittsburgh. J.J. Williams, who played with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, he scored, I believe it was 13 last year for the Rowdies. So those are 2 big pieces that are missing in this attack.
No, you can't replace players like that. I think that's the problem, especially when you're not getting the goals. It just puts so much pressure on your defence. You're having to get shutouts to get wins, and that's where the struggle's been for both teams. Is you can't rely on getting shutouts every week. You've got to go and find some goals, especially in the USL Championship with some of the attacking talent that's available across the league.
Giveaway by North Carolina allows Alves to survey his options, switching it towards Doyle. And the attack yields to naught. Looks like North Carolina might be bringing in their first change. It's Rodrigo da Costa. He's down on the bench near John Bradford. Get some final talking points. It looks like Rhode Island has really met the challenge of mostly keeping things in front of them. They haven't, North Carolina's attackers really haven't tested them with their pace. It's really only been on set pieces, as Martin is going to be whistled for, I believe, an elbow or hip in the back of a Rhode Island player. And now from about 25 yards out, Rhode Island has a good chance here.
And these are the types of areas last week on the road in Indianapolis where North Carolina came undone, giving away set pieces in dangerous areas. Players like Clay Holstad can put the ball on the money.
Three-man wall. It's kind of this similar situation that they had in the first half, where Quisera took his chance and went right into the midst of Antonio Carrera. This time Holstead goes quick, and it's punched away by Carrera. And now Perez with the outside of his boot, trying to work it for Rafa, but Holstead tracks all the way back after delivering that free kick to stop that counter. DaCosta is ready to come in for North Carolina at the next stoppage, as we have eclipsed the hour mark here on Star Wars night at Wake Med Soccer Park. Darce, almost a heavy touch. Gives it to Yao. Quizera. Turnbull. Doyle in space. Evades the challenge of Maldonado, but Paco Craig is there to stop the progress. Perez trying to put it in space for Anderson to run. Rhode Island wants the flag up. They're not going to get it. Anderson cuts in. Anderson just lost it. Placius trying to bring it under control, and he is going to be fouled. He is going to commit the foul, I should say, against Yao. And unfortunately for Placius, that is his last bit of action, as he is going to be subbed off, and Rodrigo da Costa is going to come in.
NCSC substitution brought to you by Restore Hope and Wellness. Coming off the pitch, number 29. Put your hands together for Julian Placius.
In that last attack, Brian, I just felt that Placius came crashing across and almost took away the space of Olex Anderson there. You know he's great, got great pace and a threat on the dribble. Almost let him go to work there 1v1. Stay away. Well, as he came, he dragged the defenders in with him, and then Olex Anderson, the new unselfish version of Olex Anderson, was looking to feed his fellow strike partner, and the chance was gone, unfortunately. It's a good ball from Luis Perez, the creator of all chances, to spring the St. Vincent and Grenadines forward down that flank.
Rafa wins the ball against Sadie, and Sadie takes Martin down. And some of the fans wanted a card. Not going to be given. Quick restart, though, by Colin Martin. And DaCosta thought he was tugged back. Play continues. Maldonado. Turnbull intercepts the pass, targeted to Flores Blanco. And a good challenge by Malou. Defensively so far, North Carolina up to the task. They've held their line. Had some good shoulder-to-shoulder challenges against some give-and-goes. Made the necessary tackles and blocks when they've needed to in the box. Holstead and Turnbull work together. And now Rhode Island presses it forward. Doyle. Touched by Malou, shot by Holstead, blocked by Craig.
Michael Craig's just been in the right place at the right time and time again today. Been really cool in his own box. And there he is, the captain. Big block there, because Holstad scored an absolute screamer last time out.
Great switch of the field by Martin to Rafa. DaCosta in space. Rafa cuts it back. DaCosta was a little too far forward. Rhode Island in a bit of bother, almost trying to clear it. And they're bailed out by a slight shove by Olex Anderson. Here you get a look at that chance by Rafa as he tried to cut it back to DaCosta.
Just a fraction off in terms of the timing. DaCosta was holding his run, waiting for the cutback. It didn't come, and he set off to try and attack the near post, and then the ball came.
You can watch the USL Championship on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. As Craig clears it away, looks like we've got more changes coming for North Carolina FC, seeing Raheem Summersall and Evan Conway. And obviously this is a good chance for some guys to get some minutes, obviously with the Open Cup match taking place on Wednesday against Phoenix Rising. then North Carolina will have some breathing room there. Next USL Championship game will be next Tuesday on May the 14th as Sadie's cross dangerously near the post. In 10 days' time.
And talking to Coach John Bradford, we haven't seen a lot of Evan Conway this year, one of the new signings, one of many of the new signings that have joined the club since their move from USL League One to the Championship. Just how he's looked great in training as he's worked his way back from injury, and I think he's excited to get him on the field today and see what he can do against this Rhode Island team.
Blue takes down Quizera. It's going to be a free kick as the Senegalese defender went into the body of the midfielder from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Strong challenge from Malou, as is always the case. Always fully committed, but Quizera in front of him, the referee adjudged it to be a foul. And it's another set piece for Holstad to deliver a quality ball into that box and test this back line. If I remember rightly, Brian, I think Carrera came and punched the last one, so...
Did.
Wasn't very convinced by that decision. It almost led to a good counter-attack the other way, so what do I know? But I guess with these conditions, the ball very slick, still continuing to fall, the rain, even if it's quite lightly.
A lot of tussling just in front of the penalty spot as North Carolina tries to hold their line on this set-piece delivery by Holstead to the back post. And it's going to be a goal kick. And it's going to allow North Carolina to make their changes as Summersall and Conway will come into the game for North Carolina FC and for John Bradford. And Olex Anderson, his day is done, playing 68 minutes, as well as Mikey Maldonado will make way too. So you got a striker and a midfielder coming in. And Raheem Summersall, it's great to see him back on the field, the MVP of the USL League One final. His strike in extra time that bounced off the crossbar, off the goalkeeper and in, pushed the game to a penalty kick shootout. Shootout that North Carolina won 5-4 against the Charlotte Independents here at WakeMed Soccer Park for the first title in the club's history. Koke Vegas over to Yao. Bit of high press here from North Carolina as Martin picks the pocket. As Summersall tried to pass it back, there were a lot of golden shirts. And the flag is going to be put up as Fousson was in an offside position as the pass was made.
Just going back a moment or two, that great press from Colin Martin, something we talk about all the time. I think the stats don't always show the work that he actually does, but leading the charge there, trying to win the ball back for his team, and it almost works out to get them on the front foot.
Flores Blanco. Good pass to Perez. Sweet cross goes across the box, recovered by Rafa. And Martin evades the trouble, gives it to Malou. First tackle by Summersall. And he switches it to Rafa. Rafa looking for options in the box, lays it to Tacosta. Tacosta chips it. What a reaction by Stephen Turnbull to prevent Blanco from getting an opportunity there. Attack's not done yet as Conway gets on the ball. Oh, what a dime to Washington! And Koke Vegas gets in the way. Two big moments for North Carolina, equally met by the defensive actions of Rhode Island.
We've got a game in our hands now, Brian. It's almost like the temperature's amped up a little bit. Here's DaCosta trying to find Flores Blanco at the back post. Great defending from Stephen Turnbull. And this was an unbelievable pass from Evan Conway. Almost absolutely perfect. Bryce Washington tries to get there, but the goalkeeper makes himself huge. Comes up big for his team.
Just under 20 minutes remaining as we are still goalless here in the 72nd minute. And now it looks like Rhode Island is going to make their first changes. See Colin Smith and Joe Brito. Brito is a player that North Carolina knows all too well, playing last year for Union Omaha. Both Omaha and North Carolina were in that big battle, as well as Northern Colorado, to win the Shield. And it was Omaha that won the Shield with their just impressive win streak they had through the late summer and into the fall. It was so amazing to see them win game after game after game. But unfortunately, they bowed out in penalties to the Independents at home. And now Brito gets a chance to make an impact here for Rhode Island. Comes back to Carrera. Couldn't link up with Perez and will allow Cano Smith to make his changes. As Smith will come in for Sadie.
Sadie had a really promising first half, been much quieter in the second.
And Brito comes in for Jojea Quizera.
Rhode Island substitutions brought to you by Restore Hiker-Rose. Coming out of game number 7, Prince Sadie. Coming in number 18, Joe Brito.
Colin Smith, who's listed as a defender, kind of playing as a winger for Rhode Island. And his first action is getting into the back of Flores Blanco. Meanwhile, Joe Brito is marking Raheem Summersall as the attacking midfielder. Craig going long towards Rafa. And too much force on that ball. Gives it back to the visitors. Head coach John Bradford, who just eclipsed 100 games as coach of North Carolina FC. Trying to help inspire his team to get a big win at home. They've got a couple home games left before they have a big road trip. There's a lot of stuff taking place here at Wake Med Soccer Park. You got the women's lacrosse Final Four here. You also have the TST tournament in the first week of June taking place. So
I'm excited for that one, Brian. Oh, it was a really fun event last year.
A lot of quality players, former players, clubs that you know all too well, trying to create some teams, all in fight for that $1 million prize. You had one of the teams that was all former U.S. women internationals, led by Heather O'Reilly.
They're back again.
They're back again. I believe Sergio Aguero, former Manchester City player, trying to get a team together. So the
that's great.
lead partners of Burnley led by the Watts, JJ and Kalia.
It's great wandering around the fields here at Wakemed, just seeing all the action just popping off all around you. Brilliant to see, and then the concept of the game is really exciting as well.
Flores Blanco blinds Martin. Martin in a bit of an advanced position. Gets it back to Blanco, slips it to Conway. Oh, what good ball movement. DaCosta gets a corner. North Carolina getting it between defenders, and they almost had a golden chance there between Conway and DaCosta in the end.
Yeah, the changes have really helped the home team. Conway, DaCosta, Somersault added some energy, some invention. And as this Rhode Island backline starts to tire, you can see they're starting to cause a few more problems.
Sixth corner kick for North Carolina FC is Luis Perez. Delivers a good ball towards the 6, headed away. It falls to Martin. And it was deflected, I believe, by a Rhode Island defender. I believe it was Yao on that deflection, but Colin Martin, he's had some good opportunities at the edge of the 18, and the ball's been cleared back to him.
Yeah. Not many other players you'd like it to fall to. Yeah, there was a bit of shirt tugging going on, I felt, on the last delivery, right in front of the referee's face, so he's trying to clamp down on some of the extracurriculars in there.
So far, shots are about dead even, 6-5, as Perez floats this up. It's headed by Craig. Conway trying to keep it in. Conway heads it into space. Big collision between Perez and Smith, and it's another corner kick. Colin Smith joining the team after being part of the FC Dallas Academy. Also played with the North Texas and the MLS team as well. Had a couple chances to play in the Open Cup for FC Dallas. And now they got to defend another corner. Perez towards Craig! And it went off the post, but I believe the shot is not going to count as a foul was called. Player down, Liz Nodarces. You see Craig go right into the back. And the header coming off the post. The desperation from North Carolina trying to capitalize on a set piece. And the Cuban defender holds his ground. And we are still goalless as we head into the 80th minute.
This is exactly what North Carolina wants. They're inviting the visitors to build out, and this is where last time out here in New Mexico got themselves into a lot of problems and started to go long. North Carolina quite happy for Rhode Island to play out. They're not getting a lot of joy in playing through the lines, and almost, I feel, creates more problems sometimes than opportunities. So we'll see what North Carolina can do here, but they'll like that, playing out in the back when they're all tight man-to-man.
Substitution made by Rhode Island as their newest signing, Isaac Anking, comes into the game for Mark Doyle. Anking just signed with the team on Tuesday. He is part of the Puerto Rican national team. Has 7 caps, 4 goals. He last played professionally at the end of 2022. With the Columbus Crew too, but is native to Providence, Rhode Island. Local signing. And now he gets his first minutes in Rhode Island colors as Rafa charges through. Alves with the deflection, corner kick again for North Carolina. This will be their 9th of the match.
I like this though, Brian, an in-swinger from this side. I prefer that to the away swinger on the other side. I think it favours the North Carolina players going and attacking it and just get a little touch on it.
You got Craig, you got Somersault, Malou, Conway in there. It's towards Craig, glancing header, just off the mark. And DaCosta almost picked up the pieces at the post.
It's a good delivery from Luis Perez, just whips it in head height. There's the glancing touch, and DaCosta, I think, trying the scorpion kick almost to get some kind of contact on that. Another one goes begging for the home team.
North Carolina looking to make their final change. Jaden Cervania is going to come in as Somersault wins the challenge against Brito. Ball not cleared as far as they'd like it, and they're bailed out by the whistle. So Jaden Cervania is going to come in for Luis Perez, who really had one of the best chances of the game in the first half. And now Cervania comes off the bench, looking to spark a winner. 3 front attackers all substituted in. You got DaCosta, Conway, and Cervania. And here is the sub, Conway. Almost put it on a plate for Cervania.
Just so clever there, just bumping into his opponent to win the ball back.
And now at that second ball, Rhode Island trying to transition into the attacking third. Brito to Holstead, heavy touch, allows Somersault to get in the way. Brito tracks it all the way to the corner. Marked by Washington, gives it back to Alves. The Brazilian, deep cross, and the flag is up, as Rhode Island had a good chance there for Noah Fusson. But the young man from Los Angeles is flagged for offside.
You see it, he just whips it with that left foot. It's a tight offside call there, Brian.
Tight offside, but it was there. Good bit of defensive work from Carrera, as well as the back line to, play to the whistle, prevent the goal. It's going to take a full 90 minutes to see who can come out the victor. Both teams kind of undone in their last games. Rhode Island against Phoenix. They were down 2-0. They were able to score a goal late in the 89th minute and with a chance to possibly equalize and come away with a point. But nearly 40 seconds afterward, they give away. Phoenix runs down the field, scores late in the 90th minute, puts the game to bed. North Carolina, meanwhile, their last home game, tight 2-2 game against New Mexico, give up the winner in the 91st minute. It's going to take every single second of focus and determination for both of these teams.
Yeah, and you feel a point really does none of them any favors. Both teams coming in today, I think we're looking to leave with 3 and really propel their season forward. As we talked about Rhode Island entertaining Sacramento in their next home game.
Yeah, Sacramento coming into this week top of the West. Here's Somersault. DaCosta. Cervania traps it down. Jaden Cervania almost gave the ball away, and Anking steps in at the last moment. And Rhode Island a bit frustrated that the call didn't go their way. There was a little bit of hesitation between the officials, and the referee, fourth official, John Maddow, has referred to the bench. One of the assistants is going to be yellow carded. I don't know if it was directed toward Cano Smith. I believe it was to the bench.
There's a little flick off Flores Blanco's foot, but I don't think it was an easy spot for the referee or the assistant referee.
And a free kick goes the way of North Carolina as Turnbull over the shoulder against Cervania.
Turnbull not happy, feeling that Cervania had hold of him. That's Jaden Cervania though, Brian, right? We've seen him down the years. He just knows how to use his body, how to win free kicks, and these opportunities could be the difference.
It's going to allow Cervania to try to loft a ball towards the far post. Washington, Craig, Conway, all looking for an option. Instead, it's cut back to Flores Blanco. This time he chips it, and Malou's header is towards Coque Vegas, but they will flag it for offsides as Rhode Island will make another change as Mark Ibarra is going to come off
Rhode Island 7, the 88th
for
minute,
Kofi Chumesi.
Coming out of the game, number 23, Mark Ibarra. Coming in, number 21, Kofi Chumesi.
Chumesi from Ghana. Played with Atlanta United 2 in the MLS Next Pro. Also spent time playing in the lower leagues in both Germany and Romania. Only a few minutes left of normal time, and probably not a lot of minutes of added time as well. So this really is it for both teams if they want to try to score a winner here and take all 3 points. Carrera sprays it to Rafa, couldn't control it. Lapse in concentration there. Kind of undoes that last attack for North Carolina. As this game has gone on and on, Rhode Island, they'll be happy to take a point. Unless they can get their attackers in the right position. One of them being Stephen Turnbull, as you saw a big run there. Quick restart by Rhode Island. Martin trying to lead the press as we have 4 minutes of added time here in this second half.
4 minutes.
Holstead. Alves calling for it on the far sideline. Kicked away by Rafa. And Rhode Island has to go backwards. As North Carolina brings the line up and they get the offsides call. giving up 5 goals in the last 2 games. John Bradford, I think, would be happy to take a clean sheet. Obviously wants to see a bit more firepower when they have the ball. That firepower has not yielded the dividends that they've hoped for. Only 3 shots in the second half. Most of them coming off of set pieces. Almost halfway through extra time, and North Carolina trying to get some good positioning here as Summersall loses out to Alves. Fusol collides with Craig, advantage is played, and the foul is going to be committed by Chumesi, and he's going to go into the books. Tactical foul there by the midfielder, Chumesi.
Jaden Savania doing what he does best, just securing the ball, using his body to protect it. Made that 2 fouls so far. Probably time for a couple more before the end of the normal time.
North Carolina coaching staff trying to point at players whether they go forward or back. North Carolina bench a little bit frustrated. They didn't think Anking was back 10 yards. Now it falls to the feet of Rafa. Da Costa. The Brazilians working in tandem, but Rafa couldn't curl that ball towards the box. And this looks like it might be one of those games where John Bradford and North Carolina FC is going to have a lot of work on their hands as they get ready for the Open Cup. Margins were so small, but Rhode Island has really met the challenge. Not the best goal kick from Coque Vegas as North Carolina almost brought the ball forward, and that is full time here at WakeMed Soccer Park. Unfortunately, it is honors even for John Bradford and Cano Smith, a point apiece for the 2 teams at the bottom of the league, a 0-0 draw. For Rhode Island, it is their 3rd 0-0 draw of the year. For North Carolina, it is their 2nd of the year. We will step aside and give the final highlights and stats of this USL Championship game here on ESPN Plus and WRAL2.
That's why Lenovo launched the Evolve Small Initiative. We gave every small business the opportunity to use Queen Latifah as the face of their marketing with their own customized video. So far, Lenovo Evolve Small, in partnership with AMD and Microsoft, has helped over 1,000 women and minority-owned small businesses to thrive. With more than $2.4 million in grants, tech, mentorship, and marketing resources. Stay tuned for what's next with Lenovo Evolve.
You'll find both. From our all-natural charcoal-fired chicken, cooked using Peruvian spices, to our made-to-order dishes like arroz chaufa. With sausage, chicken, or completely vegetarian, we have something for every diet. So take a break today. Come in or find us online for catering or to place a pickup order. Family-owned and local. Make it a Peruvian night. Make it alpaca.
Back here at WakeMed Soccer Park, it is a 0-0 draw between North Carolina and Rhode Island. A point apiece. North Carolina moves to 7 points on the year. Rhode Island up to 8 with the draw. Brian Ware and Andrew Tate here with you. Andrew, let's go over the highlights of this 0-0 draw. Luis Perez had probably the best chance of the game off of this long throw.
Yeah, almost an ESPN top 10 right here. Just catches it fantastically, almost too well. Great save from the fan there. That ball was travelling. Here was Prince Sadie going the other way. Left foot whips it across the box. Doyle gets across his man and gets good contact, but not enough to guide it into the far corner as it flashes past the goal, agonisingly wide. But North Carolina would keep coming. It was another good ball from Maldonado as Malou tries to get on the end of it. But good defending from Turnbull, as was the case throughout the evening's work. Doing just enough to keep out North Carolina. Here was fantastic play from the substitute, Evan Conway. Great invention to almost free Bryce Washington, the right centre-back, to get on the end of it. Perez with a looping left foot cross in here. Foul from Paco Craig, but gets great contact on the ball, hits the post. But the referee pulling things to a close. But here was another good bit of... This was right at the end of the game. That kind of sums up the evening's work. Just neither team having the quality in the attacking third to unlock the door and get the 3 points.
Yeah, both teams will take the clean sheets. The first clean sheet for both goalkeepers, Antonio Carrera and Coque Vegas. As you see, 9 corner kicks. North Carolina had a lot of chances on set pieces, just couldn't capitalize on them.
And that's something they've really got to start improving on the training ground, not really getting the goals that they need from that particular area. And it's an area of the game that can really make a difference.
And it's going to be a key area for them when they take on Phoenix Rising on Wednesday in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. Tickets are still available at NorthCarolinaFC.com. If you want to stream the game, go to USsoccer.com. For our producer and director, Paul Beam, and our entire crew here at Wake Med Soccer Park, from my broadcast partner, Andrew Tate, I'm Brian Ware, saying thanks again for watching this presentation of the USL Championship, where the final score at Wake Med Soccer Park, North Carolina 0, Rhode Island 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.